scenarios where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID, they can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
You guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
Hey everybody, it is David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Thank you so much for joining us today on Thursday as we try to go live at 4:30, but today was a little bit of a delay for many different reasons. Today we have a few different people here today, so I'm going to just go around the room real quickly. I have, as usual, Beja Rivera, who co-hosts. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And then we have, today we're very fortunate to have a few of the people we have. John Orlando, who's the Action Junkies podcast guru host.
I feel like we should have sirens blaring after that.
Guru. I like that.
Very fortunate, very lucky to have him today.
He's a guru.
I'm going to get an invoice. It's going to be very expensive.
For sure. And it's extra on top because of birthday. It's a birthday charge.
And he's just turned 26.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that. All right.
Happy birthday.
Now you get a 40% discount with that. All right. So
he does have a unicorn waiting for dinner, so we have to be on time today in regards to our conversation. Then we have Janti Chun.
Hello, everyone.
Shun.
Janti
Shun. Which translates to, it doesn't matter, but go ahead.
So she is a special guest today as well, helping us out. And then we have today, our special guest is David Bliss. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So
wow, he's got radio voice.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you missed your true calling with that voice. You should be on FM radio, no?
No.
No? He says no.
Very low and sexy.
I'm good where I'm at.
Okay. All right.
So David is here specifically because we're going into the anniversary of September 11th, and David happens to be, I will say, a hero and a survivor of 9/11. In regards to he's a fireman, I'm going to have him tell his story in general. But it is the anniversary coming up. What is it? 9, 10, or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I was a police officer in New York at the time of 9/11, so I worked 9/11 as well. But it's not about me specifically at all. It's really about your specific story because you've actually done a lot. It's a very unusual story. So let's just jump into 9/11 and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I was in Ohio at the time. My dad called me, told me to turn on the TV. You know, I was tired. I worked all night. And then basically I did. When I turned on the TV, that's when the second plane hit the tower. And then I ran, over to my mom and dad's. We started talking, and I don't know, I couldn't sleep for a couple days. Figured, do something. So packed up my Suburban with everything, all my gear, water, respirators. I mean, I put everything in there. And then it's like divine intervention, as I call it, because when I hit New York, I actually got a room at, I think they called it the Best Western Presidential, or the Presidential Best Western. Mm-hmm. And it was literally right, in front of Engine 54.
Wow.
And then I went down into 54, gave them, told them, hey, I got a bunch of stuff. So they helped me introduce myself and got to talking to some of the family members. They lost 15 beautiful brothers that day. And then they just asked me if I wanted to go in, and help. And I said, yeah. And then the first night was rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. The fires were still going, the smoke, the smell.
Right.
And then doing the bucket brigade, and then
what's the bucket brigade?
5-gallon bucket, fill it up with debris, pass it down.
Oh.
And just keep going. It was
that's how they clear that out, and it's still kind of a search for survivors at that point, right?
In the beginning it was search and rescue, correct.
Right.
And then after a certain time, then it went to just recovery.
Yeah.
And it's
How many days was that after, or
I got there on September 14th.
Oh, okay.
And did 3.5 weeks the first time.
Wow.
And then went back, and then took some from Blanchester, Ohio, took some Blanchester firefighters back.
Wow.
And sorry.
No, just to recap, so he's not from New York. He's from
Right.
Ohio.
Yeah.
No, correct.
And there's a lot of firemen and police, got in their cars and drove down, right?
To
You just
help.
got in a car. How long did it take you to drive down?
A little over 8 hours.
So he drove down there not thinking. He just went down there thinking, I'm going to help.
Correct.
Right.
And he just shows up and he's like, hey, I'm a fireman from Ohio. And it's volunteer firemen, right, in
Correct.
Ohio?
Yes.
A lot of firemen are volunteers. City of New York is different. So he goes down there, like, I want to go help. And he just shows up, gets a hotel room, got all his stuff, and shows up. You didn't even know where. You just looked for the nearest fire engine truck company, right?
No, actually, it was just like I said. It was like divine intervention. I got lucky because I didn't expect to go in. You know,
Right.
I just was going to donate what I brought with me. You know, stay a little while and then go back home. But then it just worked out to where,
His hotel.
I got
And
asked
then
if
all
I wanted
hands
help.
on deck, yeah.
And then I wasn't the only one. I mean, I went in with guys from Kansas City, Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade actually had search and rescue dogs there. So a lot of
And when you're there, when you first got there, is the hard to breathe? Like, because there's still so much debris and stuff. Like, did you have problems with breathing and your lungs and that kind of stuff?
now
or-
I do.
You do still.
And now I have stage 4 lung cancer from being there.
Wow.
No way.
Sorry to hear that.
I've had because of being there, I've had 16 cancer surgeries. I go to comprehensive cancer centers here in Nevada and get I'm going to die of cancer. That's what my doctors tell me. So they got me on what they call Keytruda. It just hopefully extends my life. And
Yeah.
Blessed. I've been on Keytruda now 26 months.
Wow.
I lost a lot. I lost half my thyroid, my face, my neck, everywhere.
Now, other firefighters or law enforcement that was there on the scene, are they having similar issues as you?
Almost definitely. There's a lot. I'm right now. I got accepted in the 9/11 Commission, their program where they'll cover 100% medical.
That's great.
When my time comes, my wife will get survivors, benefits. So
For the rest of her life kind of thing? Or
it's a one-time
pay?
The one-time pay.
Yeah, but it's still something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I feel like that's not talked about enough. I haven't heard.
Yeah.
You're the first person that I know.
The only time I've seen it talked about was, I think, a couple of years ago, Jon Stewart in front of Congress.
Right. I remember that, actually.
And because the money was running out, and
Yeah.
then they allocated more money. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I'm not here to complain about the government. It's hard.
Yeah.
I've been with this 9/11 Commission a year, and I still haven't got nothing yet. But it's coming.
What are you
Yeah.
supposed to be getting specifically? But you get
I'm
medical
getting
now, right?
No.
Oh, you don't get medical?
No, I got to get. I went through the verification process. They already verified I was there, 100%. So that's like proven. And now I have to see an independent doctor to go over my medical records, which they have a copy of everything for the last 15
To make
years.
sure that it came from that incident.
Yeah. Oh, they know it does because the pathology reports, actually the tumors. The biopsies they'd done, it actually had still some of the soot and stuff in there.
Oh my goodness.
And you said immediately after you felt.
No, not
Different,
immediately.
or-
It took a few years.
Okay.
The first tumor I got was right here on my face.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. I'm almost afraid to ask you this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Go ahead.
Do you regret helping?
No.
I knew you were going to
No,
say that.
no,
That's
knowing-
the only reason why I was brave enough to still ask.
No. knowing
Yeah.
knowing the outcome, I'd still do it all over again. For real.
Wow. Says a lot about you.
No, it's in my blood. I want to help people.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell the story I was telling to David on the phone a few weeks ago, because actually it bothers me because you mentioned about going down there.
Yeah.
So I worked 9/11 at the time. I was an MTA police officer. I left NYPD because MTA police was a better job. So I became, instead of City of New York, I became State of New York Police in June. 9/11 happens a few months later. And I was in Brooklyn, across the towers, the bridge, and people were escaping. And, it just kind of looks surreal. I always say it's like Die Hard, the movie, the Nakatomi building when there was an explosion. It just looked like that. And I was across the bridge. I wasn't there. I wasn't running, and I saw it. I'm like, oh shit, that's definitely not a good situation. And you start thinking, are there people in the building? It's 8:30, maybe people there or not there, You have no clue what's going on because even though it's close by, it's still far away. And then at the end, so I was dealing with my own situation, and then the firemen were saying, hey, we may be hit here, we may be at war. Like what do you mean war? Like, it just seemed weird, right? It's just a normal day. And but what's interesting is, I've mentioned before that I always say 3 days later, but 3 days later I go down there with a transport of railroad cranes and lighting equipment. And I was on a box truck that had lighting equipment inside, and I was on the side, just holding on. And it still was a crime scene. So what they do is cops are all over the place and you can't really get in because it's a crime scene still. And there's guns on the floor from cops that have died or money and credit cards. And so it's a crime scene. So when they go through the buckets, they're putting, it could be a gun, it could be a wallet, it could be money, it could be a body part, it could be anything as they're moving it along. And so I go down there and I felt weird going down there. There was a gas leak. I think it was one of the hotels, the Millennium Hotel or something like that. And I remember being down there and stuff like that. But as a cop, I worked like 6 days a week. I was working 12-hour shifts. I never went down there specifically to do the bucket. And because I was working and I was exhausted with a 12-hour shift by the time in New York City, I take the train home and so on. You went home to sleep and then you came back. You went home to sleep and you came back, you know? And some of the guys, and we'll show the picture that he has. It's interesting that you have this picture. You can bring it over here, John, if you don't mind. This picture, a lot of cops actually have, which basically commemorates that they were down there. You know, on this picture, he's down there basically, you know, at the Trade Center, and he's, you know, just a lot of cops have this, picture showcasing that they were there and that they worked there, and it's kind of it's, you know, a sad situation, but it's a great picture to have to remember the time that you helped, that you were a hero in general, and so many, you know, the whole situation. But a lot of cops would come back and they would show these pictures, and I never went down because I was just so exhausted and tired, and but I do feel bad myself that I never was part of the bucket brigade. And I never went down there for that specifically, but I was working, you know, every single day. But I always felt bad that I didn't go down, and a lot of cops have gotten sick from just being part of that.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the debris was taken to Staten Island, where in Staten Island there's like a dump, like a garbage dump, and detectives were rotating in and out to go through the garbage and the debris to, you know, it still was an investigation, right?
Sure.
And a lot of those cops, you know, got medically disabled and got cancer and so on. So in some regards, even myself, you know, I was kind of like fortunate not to get sick, even though I was down there for several hours. He was heavily entrenched with it, you know, being part of it and doing the whole bucket thing. But I still feel bad knowing that I didn't do the whole bucket thing, because a lot of cops did do it, you know. But I probably would have gotten sick as well being down there. And to this day, I think more people are dying every single year, right? I don't know the numbers, it's been a long time. It's 21 years now. But a lot of people are still dying. Regular people that live in Manhattan, plus firemen, police. There's so many other people. Have you kept track at all? Have you researched it?
Yeah, I do. I keep track of that, and I still have contact with some guys that also got, you know.
That came from Ohio.
No, New York.
New York, okay.
Yeah.
The fire guys in the
Yeah.
in your,
Before we started, I said you were a hero, and you said no. Why?
Because I don't classify myself as that, you know. To me, we're all bred together, you know what I mean? We're all humans. I think anybody in this room probably would do the exact same thing if they had the chance or opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not no hero, no.
when you went down there, so you were wearing the actual jacket. What does it say? Ohio? What does it say on there?
Yeah, Ohio.
It said Ohio Fire.
Yeah, Fire and Rescue.
Fire and Rescue?
Yeah.
Anyone ever say anything when you were down there? Like anyone say like what are you doing down here? Or like in the beginning? Because I remember seeing police cars from, you know, Florida and like going down the road. What is it? The West Side Highway. Because it was closed off, and then all these different cars. And I kept seeing, you know, different states, and you know, I was like, wow, they're here.
I didn't realize
California.
that happened. I didn't realize that.
On the West Side Highway in general, just where the, you know, when the plane went down, what's his name? Where they survived. They closed off that highway for emergency access. So you would see police cars and ambulance going down there in general, and anyone that was like anybody, like Pennsylvania State Troopers, Vermont. I mean, they would go down there to get down to the World Trade Center and then, you know, help out. But there were a lot of people all over. So did anyone say anything to you, like, why are you down here, like in the beginning, or did they stop you, like, hey, you can't help out because you're not FDNY?
No, I never had
Never.
any kind
It was all hands on deck.
So as long as you
That's
basically,
what I'm thinking, yeah, they see him helping, so
Yeah.
there's no question.
well, you're
about
wearing
it.
like, I guess you're wearing the fire equipment,
And
because no one's vouching who you are technically.
Actually, when I went and introduced myself to Engine 54, I didn't have nothing. I mean, clothes, but not no.
So you just
No
walked up
gear.
in regular
Yeah.
clothes.
And then we like I said, we started talking, getting to know, getting to know each other, because I met a lot of family members, you know, the wives and all that, and then some guys were getting ready to go in, waiting for the guys to come back, you know, and then just asked me, and I said, yeah. It was really.
Was there any positives that came out of the time you were down there? Like, were you able to rescue anyone, or was it? I mean,
Not-
because it looked
no.
pretty bleak, right? Like,
Did other firefighters have maybe like a, I don't know, what do they call them, gas masks or something to like protect
The respirators, yeah, I got it. I got it around my neck.
You didn't wear it the whole
I
time.
mean, no, it's
Yeah.
just
A lot of time people
Too
were
hot.
it was
And
hot.
hot in the
They
way.
were taking it down. Actually, when I was driving down, when I was on the convoy, I did not have any type of mask. And I remember the guys that had masks to say, "Hey, do you have an extra mask?" We never like were equipped with masks, and they would say, "No, no." Everyone was saying no. It was like I was trying to be preventive being down there, but no one had any masks. I didn't go down there with the mask. We weren't like we never had fitted masks. I mean, after 9/11, every cop and fireman got masks. You know, and firemen always had masks, but police never really had masks.
Right.
And a lot of the times the filters are only good for like one-time usage. I'm sure you
Correct.
need multiple filters if you're down there. I mean, all this costs millions and millions of dollars just to prepare,
Correct.
law enforcement in general. But I had nothing when I was down there.
When you were on your way there, you probably had an idea in your head of like what it would be like. How close was that to the reality, or was it like way worse than you pictured?
way worse.
Way worse.
Way worse.
And then how did you deal with that? Like, how long had you been a firefighter before you went there in Ohio?
10 years, 12 years.
So you'd seen a lot of crazy
mean-
things just being a firefighter,
well, in Ohio,
right?
Nothing
in
like
Ohio,
that.
you don't see,
No, but even just like
Barn
bad
fires.
car accidents or whatever. I mean, you
Right.
certainly rolled up on
Oh, yeah,
some
yeah, yeah, we
horrific things. So when you got there and now you're seeing all this and you were there for 3 weeks, like, how do you keep your own morale up and like answer the bell essentially every day? Like, was it hard to like, did you have to push through like emotionally?
Did you sleep at all?
No, sleep was not
Really?
Sleep was not that much, but pushing as far as that, I don't think I had to push myself. I just wanted to get in
just
there.
did it.
Yeah.
And
try to-
is it, and I'm assuming like, I mean, I guess people are in charge and when it gets to like that, but it almost feels like I'm just making assumptions. Like you leave when you feel like leaving for the day and you show up when you want to show up the next day, or is it really coordinated?
No,
or
it was coordinated.
It was?
shifts. It was shifts.
Okay.
12, 14, 16-hour shifts. Yeah.
Were you ever
Wow.
afraid of something happening again while you were down there?
A couple of the buildings.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. That's a good point. Is like we didn't really know. Like obviously we knew the 2 towers went down, and then I guess
Just
the
happened.
other one, the smaller one nearby, right? But like, who really knew those first few days? Like, is it over? Like, is it done? Or are they going to do something again? Right? There was all that you had to worry about too.
Yeah,
It would
and then
still
they
feel
put
like,
cables over certain buildings and tied the buildings on because they were on the verge of collapsing.
Wow.
Actually, the one I'm standing right behind, the cables are connected to them concrete barriers.
I always remember as a kid walking by the towers and like looking up, and I was like, wow, this is just a really tall building. Like it was kind of scary just to be in front of the building. I've been up there. Have you ever been up there?
Oh, of
Years
course.
ago?
Yeah, sure.
I always remember going to Nathan's. There was the Nathan's up there for like hot
Yeah.
dogs or French fries.
Yeah.
As a kid, I went with my uncle, and you could look over the window and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy to think that I was even on top looking
Right.
down. I mean, there's a lot of different crazy stories that take place, but like it's just incredible that building was so tall.
Yeah.
And even even with rebuilding the new tower.
Yeah. That was
makes
my
me
next
nervous,
question:
too.
is have you been back and have you been? No.
Is there a tower in its place now?
Freedom Tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
one tower replaced the 2.
How tall is that one?
I don't know.
1776.
Oh,
Is that
wow.
what it is?
With the
with
the tower they got up top there,
Right.
the antenna you call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'd be interested in the difference, but 77. I mean, specific year.
And you haven't been
Position.
back because emotionally, like it's just
Yeah.
too much.
I'm gonna try.
Really?
Yeah, we're leaving next week to go. We're gonna go back to Ohio, see my family and friends, and then I might take that journey.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Over the what is it? So it's 21 years now. So you got sick. What is it? 3 years in? Like when did you realize that you got
Within 3 years, you started to get sick.
A little over 3 years, about
Little
3.5
over
years. I spotted my first tumor.
And you knew it was from that.
I
You
really
didn't?
no at that time. No,
Like what did you see at the time? What was it? Just a little dot or?
it was it started a little dot, and then my primary care doctor told me to go to a skin cancer doctor. So I did. They froze it, and then it was like gone for 6 months, and then it came back even bigger and bigger, and then finally it was about the size of the round of my thumb, and then it already infected the bone, so they had to cut me and shave the bone.
Oh wow.
That was the first time. Second time was in the neck.
And did you have to do chemo for the first time?
No, not on this thing. No, not on that.
Because they
But
were able
ever
to
si-
remove.
Yeah, they got it off the bone and everything.
Did you ever serve in the military?
No.
No.
I'm not my
What did you do
dad
prior
did.
to being a firefighter?
I owned a business called Home of Your Own, build like playhouses.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you still do that?
Well, yeah. but not in Las Vegas.
Do you like living here in Vegas?
I do actually.
Yeah.
Me and my wife love the mountains. It's really quiet out there.
Yeah. It's funny when you tell people you live in Vegas and they don't know other than just being on vacation on the strip. Like everyone's like,
There's
Vegas, how could you
day-to-day
live in
life.
Vegas? Like they don't realize there's parts of Vegas you can be in and it doesn't feel like Vegas.
It's day-to-day life. Like we,
Right, right.
Funny
we have
story
children.
is
Yeah.
my oncologist in Ohio, Christ Hospital in Cincinnati. She wanted me to go to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona, because my lung cancer, they called them nodules back then, were on both lungs. It was getting bad, and then I just kept coming this way and stopped here, and I've been here ever since.
Nevada skies are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're glad
Nevada's-
we're here.
I've been some places, but
Nevada's awesome.
Nevada skies are beautiful.
So how many years did you say you're here in Vegas?
10 years now.
Okay. So definitely a crazy story in general. Like I said, I appreciate you sharing. Is there any other unusual stories from 9/11 that you have that you want to share from that day that you can talk about, or you feel comfortable about? Anything unusual specifically?
The funny thing is, and I'm not lying, NYPD were awesome. When we came out of the site, there was a bar across the street from Engine 54, and then a bunch of us came out, and they had a van, because that's how they brought us in, was in NYPD in a van. And they said, hey, where you guys going? And a couple of guys said, we don't know. They said, get in the van, we're going to take you to a better spot. And they did.
No.
It was really cool, them guys. And they did that a lot.
In regards to hotel or
No, the
Bar.
bars.
bar.
To
Bar.
get your mind off of things, at
Yeah.
least try to
They
make
actually took
it.
us around like that. It was cool.
But you must have been exhausted and trying to get drunk.
Yeah. A little bit.
Had you ever been to New York prior to that?
Once.
Okay.
Wow.
Once. Spent a week there.
Wow.
Back in, I think it was 98, 99.
when you did the bucket situation, what were some of the items that you found that you located?
Seriously, there is no, and I'm not saying this just, there is nothing we didn't find. It was everything.
Wallets, glasses, keys, everything.
And then
So-
you have to say that for, they wanted that for DNA analysis.
Right.
So what was it like? How did it work in regards to the buckets? Like you found the gun, does it all go in the same bucket, or did you put was it?
We all put it in the same bucket. Then when you tell the one, there's usually one person that allocates what's going where. You know what I mean? Like if you did find a body part, usually it depends on the size of it. They put it in a gurney, put American flag over, and respect. And the thing about that is like if they found an NYPD, Port Authority or anyone else, like a fireman, they always let them bring their own home, and that's the best respect out of there. I've seen that.
Speaking of respect, I don't know. I'm kind of scared to ask this, but how do you feel about people getting married on 9/11? I know that was a whole conversation at some point.
I didn't even realize that's like a
Yeah.
frowned upon.
didn't.
Yeah,
Having-
I could see that.
Celebrating on that day, kind of
Oh,
didn't-
really?
I
choosing to get married on that day.
I did not even know that either.
See? The
I
things
guess
we
it's a
learn.
day of remembrance and memorial than anything else. Not to.
Yeah.
And they have absolutely nothing to do. A lot of them, I think they questioned a lot of people that married that day, that got married that day. And they had like no family members that, were lost. on
Oh,
that day.
okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Did you know anyone in either tower?
We had actually two interesting stories. Just real quick is there was someone my brother's like best friend upstate. He worked in the towers and he didn't make it out. My brother spoke to him, and he's like, "Hey, we're going to be leaving. We're evacuating. We're not really sure what happened." And I think at a certain floor, I think it was like I don't know, I'm making it up right now, but like anyone from like 46 and up like didn't make it out.
Right.
From the certain building. Most of the people that I met with were like 16, 12, 22. They were lower floors because they walked out. When I met them in Brooklyn, they came over the bridge to evacuate. So my brother lost a friend, and I always remember him. I mean, this is just bad luck, but I remember him when I became a cop in New York City. He said, "Oh, it's very dangerous, being a cop, And I'm like, the truth is, anything can happen to anybody. I mean, I was 22 at the time, but he did pass away. He was in the building. He was actually trying to help his boss that was handicapped, trying to get out because they had to go down through the steps, and he was trying to help. if he would have went out by himself, not trying to help, I guess, his boss that was handicapped, maybe he would have made it out. I mean, you just don't know. There's so many different stories.
Yeah.
So he didn't make it out. And then there's an NYPD cop that I was MTA police at the time. The guy's brother basically was NYPD still. And he actually, I think he was doing photography. A lot of times if there's crime scenes, he was part of like the crime scene taking photographs down there specifically to take pictures of all the different things. And I don't think he didn't make it out either. So I didn't really have anyone like besides that one guy that I knew.
Yeah.
And then I remember a story that I have a friend, Mitch. He must have sold, I remember, his Porsche to some guy. And he gets a phone call like a month later. They were trying to move the car. They couldn't find the key because the guy probably had the key. And they called the guy and said, look, we lost the guy that you sold the Porsche to. We don't have the key to the car. Did you happen to have a spare? And like, why do you need a spare? Like he died, in the towers. He was like a financial stockbroker or something like that. So it's kind of interesting stories because the guy had the key. And the car was parked somewhere. And so kind of weird stories like that. Did you ever hear I don't know the whole story, but it's kind of interesting. There was a guy who was having like an affair, and I guess the wife calls because he works, in the towers, and I guess he was in bed or a hotel room with some other woman,
and he wasn't there.
The wife calls and says, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, the are you okay? Where are you? The plane just at the towers where you work."
Your tower.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't know what he said, but
I'm
guess
getting coffee." I don't know.
Yeah, like he
What did
basically made an
say?
excuse, but he was having an affair and he was in like a hotel room,
Right.
And he survived.
The affair saved his life.
He survived that, but not the wife.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that story, and then look, a lot of people, right? Imagine waking up late that day,
Yeah.
and you wake up late by 5 minutes,
Right.
or
Yeah.
and you miss that,
Yeah.
I was in
catastrophe.
4th grade. And
Do you remember it clearly though, like that day? Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Was it a big? Even though you were in 4th grade, did you understand like how severe it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Severe. I mean, as much as hearing the details now,
Right.
not as as
I was
much.
there.
But I just remember.
You were
it
in New
being
York? Really?
I was about to say that. Where were you?
Just-
We should
I
go over
was.
real quick.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Where were
like-
you? So you were in 4th
sorry,
grade.
go
She's a young puppy.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
You remember the emotion,
Everybody- yeah,
right? It was very
everybody was
emotional.
quiet,
Yes.
yeah.
So I was in New York. I was living on 61st and Park. So I was 61, blocks away. Couldn't hear anything, but we were glued to our TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I have a friend that has a brokerage there in the tower. His whole company died except him. He was supposed to have been there that morning, but he didn't make it. He was late or something. Yeah. It was, we were just glued to our TV, but we didn't leave the house for that whole couple weeks. So, and I had just moved to New York right before 9/11 happened. So I still had my suitcases, And so when they opened up the airport back, I took my 2 suitcases and came to Las Vegas for about, 2 weeks. Drove around Las Vegas, and I'm like, I don't think I like Las Vegas because I went to all the old neighborhoods and I went back to New York. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was one of the 2 people on the airplane once they opened up the the airlines from New York.
John, where were you in Kansas?
No, I was in L.A.
Kansas.
It was really a bad period of my life prior to that. Like it was a rough. 2001 was like the worst year of my life ever. Like I did everything a human being could possibly do wrong. I did.
You were like 23.
I think you do that every day now.
No, I was 30. I was 30.
Oh yeah,
And,
you're old. I forgot.
Yeah. And so I was already in a really dark place in life, like very depressed.
Is that just LA in general, or
No, like I was into some. I had some serious issues. I was like, I owed the mob a lot of money. Like I was having a rough year.
What?
Yeah,
It's common.
Did
It's
it make it worse
Oh.
on you?
Yeah. No, it was 9/11 actually served as my wake up call because I knew 2
Really?
people in Tower 2.
Wow.
And one of them, her husband, after the plane hit Tower 1, was like, get out of there. And like, for whatever reason, she was like, no, I think it's okay. Like, no one's really leaving. Like, whatever. I mean, obviously they didn't know,
Right.
and so she didn't make it out. And then I had another buddy. He didn't make it out either. But, yeah, so I just realized like, when I saw that happen and, all those people died, it was just like a wake up for me. Like, what are you doing? Like, get your shit together, So I got my shit together.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good. That was a defining moment for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, 9/11.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, I think things happen. I mean, everyone's got different situations going on.
Yeah.
It's never a perfect situation. I always say, I told this story the other day when I was at NYPD cop when I first started and I was 22. even though I made it as a New York City cop, I was in a really bad area. And I remember it was like a cold day. I was by myself, and I was in like a train station. I know I was in a room, and I made it. You know, what I mean, I'm a New York City police officer. Went through the academy, went through the training, and I remember actually saying like, it's got to be better than this. You know, like you watch TV. You know, if you watch an NYPD like a recruitment video, like it looks so amazing. You know, like an NYPD, they're jumping off the helicopter, they're diving in, they're saving people, they're on a horse. Like you think like that's legitimately the job.
James Bond kind of thing.
And myself, I remember, and
cruising down
I
the
clearly
neighborhood.
stated, I believe I was crying that day. I was in full uniform. I can't believe I did all this work, and I'm sitting in like New York City, Brooklyn, Brownsville, East New York subway station, you know, and I'm like bored, lonely, cold, like, you know, because in the beginning it's tough as a New York City cop because you basically go out there on foot. You're on a foot post. So you're like, and I happen to be the worst area. So like if I knew somebody, like if your dad knew somebody and like makes a phone call, like you could be like in the best area. You could be in Manhattan, Park Avenue. You could be having lobster, you know, like it depends. I'm like in the worst area possible. I know nobody, and I'm like stuck in the, you know, and there's no way to eat. It's like, you know, sad to say, like the ghetto, and it was miserable, you know. And I was like, I just unlucked out. But the truth is, in the long run, it was an amazing experience to learn how to deal with people and problems and policing. Yeah. So later on, when I came out here, you know, technically it was, I guess 3 years later from after the academy time, I came out here and I was in a car. I remember I was on Gibson in Henderson from 215. I was driving a Henderson police car, and I remember I was listening to the music. I was in a Tahoe. I was by myself, and I was just laughing. And I was like, I made it. You know, I made it some way. Yeah, I was like, I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Eating donuts all day, like in the movies.
You know, just got like a 7-Eleven soda, and I'm driving that music, and it's like beautiful out and it's sunny, and I was just laughing like I made it.
Turning
and I had
the lights on, running through red lights.
Yeah, and I had well, back then there was like no real, I feel like old saying this, like, you know, it's 20 years now, but there was no real camera system, so like you could probably go as fast as you want. You know, there was no, like these days if you're...
See, these are the stories we want to hear.
Yeah.
If the police car would go faster than, let's just say 75, the cameras now will turn on audio and video. It gets activated to watch what you're doing in the police car.
Oh.
Because it thinks you're in a pursuit,
like a
or
pursuit or
something.
something. So, I mean, I've driven probably, you know, maybe 100 or 110 or something, and there was no camera that would just turn on.
Right.
You know, just to do it one time type of thing, you know?
Right.
On a highway
Sure,
or something.
just one time.
Just one time.
Just one time.
What I'm saying is, I remember just being like
Just the
wow,
tip.
like this is like I finally made it, you know, to a place that statute of limitations is over for me. So
Right.
misdemeanor over a year and a day.
I don't know.
can
I
talk
think
about
now
it.
they can turn anything back. Yeah, I think.
Like, oh, that happened
You might
yesterday.
be in trouble now.
So, but
yeah.
I just remember like I
Come
made
get
it.
David Coleman.
So I went from crying to laughing, you know, and technically it was like, I would say 3 years later. And like I said, I was down for 9/11. That's one thing I'm really glad about, because it's interesting. Things happen for unknown reasons. I would have got called for Henderson police a little bit earlier, and I wouldn't be there for 9/11. But I'm really glad, as a true New Yorker that lived there, that I worked 9/11. I was there from September until February. So I came out here. So I'm really glad that I was a New Yorker and I worked as a cop there. I would feel bad if I would have left and I wasn't there. I would feel bad, you know, like bad enough that I feel bad about not doing the whole bucket thing. I
Right.
was working every single day in New York City. I was at Penn Station, Grand Central. I was all over. I was in Brooklyn, but I'm glad to be part of it, and I'm glad that I didn't miss out working as a true New Yorker and a New York City cop.
So you
it was important
escaped.
to me.
So you escaped right after 9/11 to come to Vegas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, we all left.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. It just happened to be the timing. Like I said, I could have made it out. The other police academy class was 6 months prior, so I could have been out here. You know, when you take tests and competition, and you know.
Yeah.
So
Competition. You guys have competition?
just to how you list on the test.
Oh,
when you take
got
the
it,
police
got
test,
it.
you list differently.
I'm just looking at this photo, which really is amazing. You're right. It is, you know, I know it was a traumatic thing for you to live through, but it really is a cool photo. But how many, like, so you were there for 3 weeks. Was the air quality terrible for the whole 3 weeks? And was it like, I remember a lot of guys said, like, for the few days, it was like it was snowing for like the ash. Was it like that for 3 weeks?
When I first got there, it was like that. Then it, you know, I don't know, about 10 days later, 12 days later.
It's just a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand, there's a lot of buildings there
Right.
that got heavily damaged, knocked down. It was all over. And then when you're walking, you're kicking it up, because it was, the
Right.
soot and all that was pretty thick.
I wonder, you know, because really it affects more the older people, right? And babies. Like, what about the babies that were...
I mean, Saying I'm old?
during that
No,
no, the elderly people. I'm just saying, you know.
She's talking in general.
Yeah, in general, the
Yeah.
people that live there.
You're a
That's-
cutie. Look at that. You're still a cutie, actually.
Do you remember who you were on the phone with here? Is that a cell
My
phone? here?
family.
Yeah.
They're letting them know. I called them to let them know to actually, on top of it, it's hard to explain, but the cranes would, if they found a body on top of a pile, they'd get a crane, get the gurney, and bring it down. And we found one, just basically the torso. That was it. And then I called my family to let them know, and then they I forgot what station it was, to come in and get them and bring them home.
I would be
Wow.
devastated. I would be traumatized to this day if I were in your position.
Right.
It affected
Yeah.
me.
That's a lot to see. I mean, when I was young, a long time ago,
Long.
I was on a
long
freeway
time.
in LA and I rolled up on a car on fire.
Yeah.
And I pulled over and I got out and I tried to help. And this older gentleman was in the driver's seat and he was kind of heavy and he couldn't unbuckle it. And at the time, the hood was on fire. And his wife was outside the car and I was like the first one that pulled over. And I tried to get him out. You know, I went in the
Right.
car and the heat. I don't know how you guys do what you do and running into buildings that are on fire because the heat. I mean, you ever just open your oven, like
And
when it's
that's
on
it.
350,
Just that
and
alone, yeah.
like you just hover around to like get something out or put something in it, and it's like it gets to your nails like instantly, right?
Yeah.
I was in this car for, I mean, it felt like eternity. It was probably 10 seconds, but it felt like eternity. Like 10 seconds of me trying to help this guy, and I just couldn't do it. You know, I tried pulling him. I was only like 17 or 18, so it's like I just wasn't strong enough to. What are you going to do? It's it's 200 and whatever pounds, like dead weight, trying to pull him across. You know, I couldn't do it. And his door wouldn't. There was just no way. It wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And I remember he looked at me and he said, "Is my wife okay?" And I said, "Yeah, she's fine." And it's so hot, like my eyebrow. I can't explain the heat. Like I don't even know how to put the words together to explain the heat in this car. And he just said, "Just go." And I never forget it.
gosh.
Like, and never forget, like,
Wow.
just that moment of him realizing his reality. Like, a lot of those people had to realize, several people had to pick, do I just sit and burn or am I jumping? Like, we've all seen that, like, kind of, I guess can you call it iconic? I don't know, like that photo, of that one guy in the middle. There's plenty of people, like, coming to that realization that, like, this is it. Is really, I can't even imagine. And that, like, that's the only time I've ever had to see something like that.
Wow.
And you saw, just the aftermath of that. And for your whole career, I mean, you saw so many things, obviously, but I can't imagine.
Your guy passed in front of you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was terrible. There's a movie called Crash. Mm-hmm. Do you remember Crash? Like, it won Best Picture in like maybe 90. Oh, you guys weren't born. I forgot.
Junty wasn't born.
It's a movie. It's like 5
1890
different like short stories that all weave together. Like Don Cheadle's in it, and I can't think of anyone else for some reason. Terrence Howard. There's a scene where there's a car accident and the car's upside down and it's on fire. And the cop, Matt Dillon, is trying to rescue the girl out of the car. But earlier in the movie, he had pulled her and her husband over, and he kind of like groped her while he pulled them out of the car. It was like a racial kind of a thing, whatever. And now he's like trying to help. And when she recognizes him in this burning car, she's like, "Get your hands off me," And he's like, "No, I'm here to help. I'm here to help." That scene of watching someone in a burning car, every time it just gets me every single time because I think about that time. Yeah. I don't know why I just told you all that, but anyway.
No,
Yeah.
that's
thank you
traumatic
for
experience.
sharing.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry. Oh, my goodness.
So anyway, so it's been 21 years. So just to say again, we appreciate you coming on the show to talk about it.
Yeah,
I know
thank
it's
you for having me.
difficult. Is there anything else that you want to share that we're missing? I know. I mean, look, I was down there. You were down there. Anything else unusual that you want to share? Anything that you want to put out there since you haven't spoken about it in a long time, or you feel that you covered in general? Like I said, it's been 21 year anniversary. So I mean, we appreciate you coming here and talking about it. And
What can we do to make your life better?
right.
What can we do for you?
Well, he seems like he has a beautiful wife next door that's watching, so I think that he's in good hands too.
I'm blessed.
Can we
Yeah.
do something
I'm
with the
blessed.
state or whoever's
Right,
responsible?
for the
No,
all
no,
commit.
I got-
Yeah.
Sorry, the 9/11 Commission.
Actually, you might know him. I forgot. God forbid me. I forgot his Matthew McClure. He's my lawyer. He was in NYPD paramedic,
Okay.
and he's in New York.
He's in New York.
He's the one that helps,
Okay.
us that's been there to get what they deserve. So
Are you a sports fan? Football, hockey?
most definitely.
What sport?
All of them.
All of it.
I'm not really hockey though, but
Raiders? Like, are you a Raider fan or
I'm sorry, no.
who's your team?
Ohio
Oh,
State.
Browns, probably.
No. I was actually born in Chicago, Illinois.
Basketball.
Bears?
Bears.
Really?
Bears.
Do the Bears play the Raiders this year?
I think they do.
Here?
I don't know. That I don't know.
You should know. Aren't you a sports guy?
I am, but I'm more baseball, UFC.
Oh, got
Are
it.
you a fight fan?
I've never taken my wife. I tried to do one thing with my wife that she's never done, and
Would she go to a UFC fight?
I'm probably she's a fight fan. She loves Pacquiao and
Oh, boxing.
Yes.
she loves all
Yeah.
that.
So what we'll do is this: John and myself, with our connections,
Yeah.
connections or money, either one.
We're getting
we'll
you
get
to a
2
UFC
tickets,
fight,
or UFC
100%.
Or
God
Chicago
bless.
Bears. We'll look it up.
You guys didn't have to do that.
No.
At least we can.
We do.
That'd be
Because
cool.
I'm telling you right now, I'm blessed.
I know.
I really am.
I want to go.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on
Right, you
your on
just
your
gotta
on you're a
accept it.
hero
She's buying
though.
tickets.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
I'm-
Jen, he
I'm-
said she'll buy tickets.
No, you're buying tickets for us.
I love that
And
you're humble that way, but yeah.
I really am.
wife,
I got
moi.
a beautiful wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do.
We'll get some tickets in general.
Yeah.
I want
You
to.
can't
I
go,
want to
though.
pray for a recovery for you. I know it's been a long haul in general, and I really hope that being positive in general, that that you live a very, very long life in general.
God
And
bless.
the truth is, a lot of these days, even my father, who's 77, he's negative every day. Like, he's just negative, and he has no
It'll
clue
kill you.
what you've gone through in general. And people complain every single day, but they don't realize how fortunate they are, right?
I see.
I think it's tough
I
to
see
be.
it a lot.
Yeah, but it's tough to be probably positive when you're in pain, or in chronic pain. Even I think it. Has
No, I'm
to
so,
be
but I'm
really
saying my
hard.
father's not in pain.
Oh, he's
I mean,
not.
went to the
okay.
dentist today, if you want to call that
Oh.
pain, but
Okay.
he has no clue. I mean, he's 77 years old, and the truth is, knock on wood, that he has his health. Yeah, he could lose a few pounds, but the bottom line is, you've been through a lot,
Yeah.
right? You're in medicine for different things. My father, I'm just trying to get him to drink a little bit extra water because he doesn't like water. He's not a water fan.
Seems that you've remained really mentally strong, which is great.
When I got diagnosed the first time, small cell on the left lung, stage 1, they said, okay, did the radiation chemo, and then when they did my next PET scan, and they found it on my right lung, and that's when they classified me. I'm not gonna lie, I cried in Dr. Sanchez's office for a long time, but now, I look at it like, it's, fight it, and I have been,
The medicine that you're on now, the last thing I'll bring up is the medicine you're on right now. What is it doing to help you?
Keytruda is an immunotherapy. It's not a cure. It's never going to cure me. I'm going to die of the cancer. But what it does, it hopefully, and it has been, extends your life. So it's a good therapy. I do a 30-minute bag, they put it in the hand, 30-minute IV bag once every 3 weeks.
And you feel better? Or you're just stable?
Yeah, that's exactly how they're calling me now, stable. My last PET scan showed that, I still have the tumors. And they did CyberKnife on 2 of them, which is high dose radiation. They really burn it up. And they, the lungs are scarred. But yeah, the treatments make me tired, a lot of pain, because it affects the joints and the muscles.
Gosh.
I feel like that's the
I'm
miracle.
going.
But they don't tell you, they don't give you a timeline, do they?
Okay.
Got it, okay.
Pray.
That's why they do my PET scans every 3 months, just to see,
Do they say that it's growing, or that it's just that it's not, it's staying stagnant?
it's stagnant,
That's
same.
good.
It's just they're there and they're not.
Well, we're all going to pray
Yes.
for
Thank you.
Absolutely.
a recovery in general, and I'm so glad that you're positive. I see it in your eyes.
Oh yeah.
Keep going for a minute.
And the bottom line is that I think the biggest thing is your attitude is the most important, because if you're negative, I think things just get worse. It's like when you
Correct.
stub your toe, your whole day could be horrible, or you could just use it as
That snowball effect.
a wake up call in general,
Right.
in order to realize that your rest of the day should be better. Like it's a lot of it's outlook, mentality.
I have the best doctors, the best. I don't go in there and complain about nothing.
He knows.
I sit there, and then when they reschedule me for my next one, they go, "What time?" I said, "Look, I don't work on, you don't work on my time. I work on your time. Whenever you can get me in here, I'm here." And that's how it's been now for years.
What's called law of attraction too. So
So
whatever
you're
you
basically
think.
you're retired right now. You're not working. Nothing.
Yeah, I can't work. Yeah.
Got it.
What do you do? What's a normal day for you?
Get up. I'm not going to joke with you or lie to you. I mean, I joke with my wife a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
I make her
Just in
laugh.
bed,
I
like-
make her laugh.
That's amazing.
And then
I love that.
we joke. I just make her laugh. You know, I love her to death. She's my best friend, and
I love that.
we go hiking. You know, we hike as you know. She knows I can only go a certain distance. I got to stop and rest and then keep going. But we do a lot of hiking, and she loves metal detecting. So
Aw.
I got a metal detector, and we've been doing that
Oh, how long have you been married?
6.5 years.
Oh, kind of like it.
Wait,
oh,
metal
it's
detect,
new.
like looking for like gold and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
do you ever find anything?
Oh yeah,
Really? Where?
What?
all up in like up in the Prump area out in the deserts.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a
Jewelry?
few things you found? You probably
she
were on
found, she
John
found a
T's
little-
property or
Actually,
land.
she's got it. She's wearing it now. She's got a little gold nugget she wore,
Really?
or I mean, found, and then she found a 1886 gold gold dollar, 1878 silver dollar.
Wow.
Nice.
Interesting.
It's worth some money now.
It could be on my
yeah.
land. Where did you go?
What's
I'm
the
just
address?
kidding.
John T's, I want my, that was my golden
That actually
nugget.
That was
belongs to
mine.
me.
You know, I always see people do that in general. I think on Lake Mead, it's illegal actually to do that.
Correct.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
It is.
They're
illegal to do
still
that.
doing it.
Aw.
I could use you at Lake Mead. We're looking for body parts. If you
Who
wanna-
would know?
Lake Mead bodies and barrels. We're looking
Probably
for.
find a lot.
I was going to jump to. What is your? I guess if we should do something. Actually, we're going to get some tickets to do something for you in general.
All right.
But with your wife, what does she like to do specifically? What's her
Fight.
Passion.
Fight.
besides that?
I mean,
Like spa, nails,
yeah, you can ask her.
massages.
Yeah, most
I got a
definitely.
new massage therapist that goes to people's homes.
Oh, really?
Her name is Del Rey. We actually sent her to super fan Steve's house today.
No happy ending, right?
I don't know.
kidding.
Wait,
We have-
this show has a super fan?
We have many super
Get
fans.
out of here.
We have super fan Steve.
Maybe I want.
Really?
You messaged
Oh,
him.
yeah, okay.
My cousin.
Super fan. Steve.
fan.
Your cousin. That doesn't count.
then we have-
Actually, it does count
It
because
does.
I have family members. They don't watch my
Yeah.
show, so I'm actually,
My
it's
wife
actually
doesn't watch it.
impressive.
Theirs.
Then we
Yeah.
have super fan Ilvia, which is
So those are the two that are watching. The
And then we
two
have
people
super-
that watch you
No,
you
then we have
refer to as super fans.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
The
super because
two
they're
that
watching.
watch.
Then we have
not?
super fan Jason Daniels is a super fan.
Really?
And then
We have Ilvia, but she
Yeah.
says she's forced to be a fan.
What do you mean two? I mean, since I posted it, you have a lot of views now.
Oh,
she's
okay.
got we have like
Yeah.
1.7 million followers following you on TV.
Right. Is that what you have?
Yeah, I wish.
Oh,
No,
That's yeah.
okay.
she's how many followers do you have?
Oh, not a lot. I didn't. Less.
We
than,
could ask all your followers if they wanna
less than-
donate any items.
less than
today.
50,000. Yeah. Anyone want to donate something? Send it to my house.
Like a vacation. A vacation. That's what we need.
I was trying to pull off
We
like
can
a,
send this
a surprise cool
I see
thing,
you
but I
working,
don't
yeah.
think it's going to work.
Well,
I'm-
he's
see,
not,
let's see.
but he's not going anywhere. So we have.
I
time.
know, but it would have been really cool if I could have
Yeah,
put it
do
it
together.
now?
But it, yeah,
Oh,
but,
now?
but,
I
but-
was thinking planning your New York trip. We could all pitch in and do that.
Oh no, I appreciate that, but you know,
We're gonna do something fun for you.
Something.
Now that we know we have.
Don't you have a private jet? You can fly him to
Right,
New
right,
York.
right.
wow.
Orlando
no,
Enterprise jet?
I have something called Southwest Airlines Sea boarding group because I can't even
You can't get the A or B.
I can't even remember 24 hours prior to check in, and it's always like 4 hours go by, and
Should
I'm
alert
like,
you.
damn it.
That's better than Frontier.
Yeah, it alerts me
Or Spirit.
sometimes, and I screw it up.
I see.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to jump into the other topic, the other
Yeah, okay,
anniversary,
go
which is
ahead.
kind of a sad situation as well. But I want to get some discussion items. My phone's not really working that well. Chase,
I
do you-
see that. It's been on the
Yeah, I know.
Apple thing forever.
It's got too much stuff going
That's
on.
because you're on it.
Chase, do you have the video, the links? I sent it. No, he's not.
Oh yeah, there's no fun
I have no
videos.
links.
You have no links. My phone wasn't working.
I'm going to
What?
make a quick call.
Go for it. So what I wanted to bring up actually is there's actually, so 21 year was from 9/11, and in Vegas, you know, we're always trying to bring up different topics in regards to, well, I'll share with you. So the goal of the problem solver is to solve different problems in general. And people call us specifically, they have different problems, whether they need a doctor, they got into an accident, they got arrested, they need to be bailed out of jail, they're looking for a job, sexual harassment, like all kinds of different problems. People are homeless, they need a place to stay, and I get different calls 24 hours a day, people are calling for different things. In your situation, people can always donate to the 9/11, the memorial. There's a lot of people that basically do need some help, and the goal is to reach out. There's so many different nonprofits that are helping 9/11 people, so if anyone wants to help out. And the sad part about it is that eventually something's going to happen again. I mean, the bottom line is they waited. I think it was 1986. I was 10 years old when the first incident happened in 9/11. And the bottom line is, I'm assuming they're going to try to go after the next, the new tower that's there as well. I mean, they have time, and they're very committed in regards to the extremists.
Are they still angry, or
Yeah,
I mean, like, or
the
hate
whole
us? Do they
the whole
still
point
hate
is, I think that
America?
America is all about
do?
even though people think Las Vegas is like Sin City, they think the extremists think that all of America is extremist, and that we're getting involved in, right? Like, there's too much going on these days, and there's too much, right, with Russia and Ukraine. So they're very big. They have time. So eventually something's gonna happen. The truth is, New York City is such a large place that anything can happen at any time, and they have stopped several different things over the years. But eventually something's gonna happen. Knock on wood, it doesn't. We can pray for it not to happen, but we need to learn. That's why we came up with something called "See Something, Say Something," which is just a marketing campaign and to get people to wear it, like if there's bags and different things that are going on. But eventually said to say something may happen, we need to be aware, we need to call the police in general. And you could be at the airport, you could be anywhere. So, or even if you're a neighbor that is acting suspicious. So the message with today, especially with 9/11, the memorial, is that one, we shouldn't take life for granted, because you are a true survivor of the situation. You're positive. People that are negative have no clue. You've been through a lot, and the bottom line is a lot of people are not as fortunate, in life, and they need to have a positive outlook, just like you have. And you're living life. You're in Vegas. You're married. You're happy. You can joke around about it. So I mean, I think that you're blessed in that regards. And a lot of people just take their life for granted. And we all have different situations in our lives. No one's life is perfect. But with that basically being said, we need to be aware of our surroundings and neighbors. And even the other day, we just had this Review Journal, the reporter that got killed. He supposedly they were investigating. There was a local politician. I mean, it's crazy. But we have to be aware of our surroundings. You have to call the police 911, 311, even if you just think something looks suspicious. I mean, even though we don't have that many large buildings, but there's been shootings where cops have died, off-duty cops on the Strip. Things have been dangerous. So we need to, if you don't watch the news all the time, then you don't really know what's going on. So the bottom line is, it's definitely an issue. We need to be more aware of our surroundings.
Right. But I think watching the news sometimes gets you into a frame of mind of negativity as well, because all you see is negative things, usually, So I don't watch the news because of that reason.
John, you got DW coming on or what?
Don't worry about what I've got working on over here. But I got something cooking, Kohlmeyer.
I know how you were.
Why? I came in with a glow? Did I come in with a glow?
I know how. I mean,
you know how I operate.
Apparently.
John's my 3 a.m. lover, so I know how he thinks now. I know his contacts.
He's your booty call?
I know what he's talking about, My wife's like, is that John Orlando?
Yeah. We do talk sometimes, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We have the same schedule.
Yeah.
It's like to bed at 2:30 or 3 and then up at 5:30. It's the craziest thing. When do you get up? Are you an early riser?
5:36.
You do?
Yeah.
No alarm. You just get up?
You
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah.
crazy.
You're in bed by like 8, 9?
No.
No? Do you stay up
11,
later?
12.
Oh, no.
Just say when, Chase.
That's crazy
8,
times.
yeah, right.
We're just waiting for his video to pop on here.
Okay.
So John,
So I've got a special guest joining us.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You had said you were a Bears fan.
Yes.
Well, I've got kind of an iconic bear joining us right now.
I love John. He's
Really?
making things happen, taking
Right,
actions.
right.
Mm-hmm.
We're all excited. Like, what?
We're just waiting. Drum roll, please.
We need the bigger
And-
team.
We're just waiting on his video. There he is.
Okay, there he
Here
is.
we go. Hold
Oh,
on.
my God. Look at my
So-
hair sticking out. Yeah, I didn't say anything. God darn it.
I've got Willie Galt joining us. Willie, say hello to David Bliss. David, make sure you get on the microphone so you can say hi to Willie.
Hi, Willie.
David, how are you?
John T, scoot back a little
I'm
bit,
good.
John T.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So Willie, we were sitting here, and David. I told you real quick on the phone. David volunteered. He was in Ohio as a firefighter, and when the towers came down, he just felt compelled, like I've got to do something to help. So he jumped in his car, drove to New York, and ended up staying for 3 weeks. Doing search and rescue, and it was obviously a very tragic thing. And and he's got stage 4 lung cancer now, and he's a big Bears fan. And I just thought maybe it would brighten up his day to see Willie Galt.
Well, David, thank you for your service, David. Thank you for all that you've done to help us and to protect us. We really appreciate it.
Willie, thank you so much for taking the time and letting me see you. That's really awesome.
Well, great. Awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Willie. Thanks for dropping what you're doing for me, as you always do when I call. I try not to abuse it, but thank you, man.
That's amazing.
David, again, I want to say thank you. You know, what you do and what you've done is very difficult. It's easy for us to go on the football field and play, you know, but you're in the real life of playing. So we really appreciate you. But thank you for your service, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And Godspeed to you.
Appreciate that, Willie. I really do.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Willie.
Go Bears, right?
Go Bears. And Cowboys, Willie. Cowboys too. Okay, bye.
And Cowboys too. We're not the Rams.
And the Raiders. Look at him. This guy still looks like he could step on the field. It's ridiculous. He's sprinting on his birthday the other day up the stairs. I watch you on IG.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Willie.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right, man.
Bye.
You like that?
John Orlando's always making things happen.
How dope was that?
Oh, wow.
That was awesome.
Willie Galt.
Thank you.
85 Bears, champs, right?
Yeah.
Played with Refrigerator, McMahon.
William Perry and all them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Thought
look
you'd get a
at
kick
you.
out of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
There you go.
I'm probably blushing like a 16-year-old.
That's awesome.
My
He actually,
Cheer, John.
I'm not big into sports because my dad, like, he
Yeah.
could put any random
He has
guy
no
in there.
clue who Willie Galt is, just so
He
you
could
know.
put a homeless guy in there and he'd be like, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, what is he, 50?
I don't think
what is it?
David's as thoughtful.
What number?
I don't know. 80? No, not 85.
Do you know
What
his number at
was
all?
Willie? I don't know.
No,
I don't
it
know.
wasn't. I think it was 85.
That was 85, yeah. I'll tell you a funny story about Willie Galt. So, are you a baseball fan too at all? A little
Yeah.
bit? Okay. Do
Cubbies.
you remember Brady Anderson? Played for the Orioles, leadoff man. Brady's the one that, like, out of nowhere, I don't remember what year, he hit 50 home runs, and everyone was like, he's on steroids because he's never hit 50 home runs before.
Right.
But anyway, Brady is in crazy shape. He's retired a long time ago, and I was pretty good friends with him, and I used to say, you know, he was like, he'd always work out at the track and stuff. And he was like, I would be the fastest man over 45 years old if it wasn't for one guy. And I'm like, who? And he's like, Willie Galt. He's like, Willie Galt's blazing fast. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Sports
Awesome,
talk.
awesome, awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
Look, David's
Yeah, man.
not into sports,
Yeah.
huh?
No, like I said, it could be a homeless guy.
really.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
85,
Yeah.
what's going on?
We could have said Mike Tyson. He would have gone along with it, not known who that
That's
is. Yeah.
amazing.
No
Mike-
clue.
Was that Mike Tyson? Actually, Mike Tyson, I would know.
You would know that just because of the tattoo.
What I love about John is that he's always
Yeah.
taking action and he makes things happen. So it's awesome. I actually appreciate him doing that, which is great.
I deeply
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right,
Nice
so,
little video.
so jumping topic, you can
Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
if you want to get the next, you want to make a phone call.
Yeah,
for
let me call. I'm gonna have. I have Tupac joining us from the Cayman Islands.
supposedly
Perfect.
like an Indian reservation. You want to make a phone call,
Right.
Well, so basically, what it comes down to is that it's a 26-year anniversary, which is a sad situation.
Right.
That basically Tupac Shakur got killed and murdered in Las Vegas. He actually got shot 26 years ago on the 7th of September, and then coming up September 13th
died.
is when he passed away, 6 days in the hospital. UMC. The reason why I bring this up because this week is 9/11 and we have the anniversary, so every week we're trying to stay a little bit relative in general. And one of the things, we don't have the video, but it's not a big deal, but this is kind of interesting because I did Superfan Steve did some research, and they were talking about that they should have a memorial for, like, a location for Tupac Shakur because he got killed. So the question really comes down to is, like, no one wants to do this memorial. And some people were saying, like, it's because of racism, because he's black, he's a gang member. And then they were saying how, like, Bugsy, Meyer, Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, they have a restaurant, the Flamingo. What makes these people different that were killed or murdered, that were gangsters? They have a restaurant on the Strip, but you can't make a memorial for the guy that got killed,
Right.
in general in Las Vegas. What's your thoughts about that in regards to, like, someone like, I mean, fine, he's a singer, he's an entertainer. Was he gang related in general? People would say he was. Do you think there should be a memorial for Tupac Shakur? Just like anything else. If
Are you asking?
Yeah, I'm just
each of
asking
us?
Brandon,
Asking
yeah.
in general.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously it's tragic, but if Tupac was like a known Vegas like performer, obviously he was a huge star,
Okay.
huge rapper.
So he was
but
from
like,
Vegas.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't from Vegas. I don't know. I don't see it.
They were saying that there's.
I'm not trying to minimize that he was killed.
No, it's interesting
you
because
know.
he's not like from Vegas in general.
Yeah.
Where someone like Bugsy or Myers,
Right.
Yeah,
Meyer, Lansky,
I met Tupac a few times. Super nice guy.
Hmm.
Tell you that.
So one of the things that we've done before on the show, just like after 9/11, it was really big about see something, say something. We did a little bit of a crime prevention marketing strategy for the Body in the Barrel, basically out in Lake Mead, and we created this $5,000 challenge. And I used to do community policing, and we used to do a lot with Crime Stoppers in Nevada, where there would be reward money specifically to help solve a crime or to get tips to come in general. We did that recently over here with the Body in the Barrel situation. Are you familiar with what happened in Lake Mead and stuff?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And that they've located other bodies, and we've been involved in general. And then Tupac Shakur came up in regards to the anniversary. The question is, I wanted to do something specifically for his anniversary of his death, because technically right now no one's ever been arrested, no one's been convicted. Beja, John T, I mean, I don't know if you ever follow a little bit of this. Any thoughts in regards to the fact that, like the whole Biggie Smalls and anything that you want to add or thoughts? Like, I know you guys know a little bit about it. I'm just curious.
Yeah, very little. I'm not really into the hip hop scene. I mean, I like some of the music, but I mean, I was young. I was just getting out of high school when that whole thing happened. So I remember seeing briefly on TV. So I know more about it now as an adult, you know. And now I think they're coming out with some kind of special on A&E that is, they're trying to investigate further, like who killed him.
Got it.
Yeah, but apparently there's opposing sides. You know, one side is saying was Suge had a lot to do with it, or Suge had him killed, even though he was in the car with him. But then the other side says, why would someone do that? That's crazy to have someone executed right next to you, basically, you know, and not. Yeah.
Well, he got grazed, right?
Supposedly he got grazed in the head by the
12 shots.
Supposedly, but they said there was someone that knew a Vegas cop that said, no, that came from the shatter of the window. So it wasn't from a bullet.
It's just hard to believe that you didn't have anything to do with it. That's just what I think. I don't know, though.
Yeah, but if you're going to kill somebody or you're going to have someone killed, why are you going to be in the car? I mean, don't you think there's other ways?
True.
That's a
right?
good point.
Yeah, because you might get hit now. So they did this thing where they had.
But maybe that's the perfect alibi.
Well, yeah, true,
Definitely.
definitely.
Just like stirring it up,
Yeah, no, you're right.
Suge did it. No, I don't know.
It's just crazy that nobody's been convicted.
No.
All those witnesses.
Yeah, but they
involved.
had some professional gun guys, do kind of replay the whole thing, right? Driving by and shooting the car or whatever, even at the angle. And that dummy that should have been Suge Knight was shot about 4 or 5 times as well.
See?
Like in that area. Right. And these were professional, guys.
Right.
Right? Those guys, I mean, I don't know how professional they really were,
Right.
A whole bunch of gangsters just shooting away at a car.
Do you think he's still alive?
No.
There's a lot of people that think he's still alive.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I don't buy
when I
into
worked at a
that.
law firm, I did meet somebody who said they were working on it. You could look it up and Google it, where it's called The Great Escape, where they talk about Tupac Shakur still being alive, and that he escaped from UMC Hospital, and that he's living on an Indian reservation to this day, because they knew that it was a threat that he would get killed or shot at again, and they were making a movie. There is a trailer again if you go to The Great Escape.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see
trying
that.
to escape the industry.
So, so you don't think, Shanti, you think he's still alive or no?
No. I think, with these guys, where they were as famous and popular and all that stuff with the money involved and the vanity involved, there's no way someone can just go hiding for 20 years.
No chance.
No, not at all.
And not make music.
Yeah, and that's what they feed
No
on.
way.
That's what they live on or feed on. Yeah, there's no way.
No.
I mean, we're so vain. I mean, we got to go to, events on occasion.
True.
Or put our, face somewhere on a billboard, on a flyer.
So, Beja, do you think Tupac is alive or dead?
I don't know. I think he's dead.
I think he's staying at Beja's house.
I really
Have you been hiding Tupac? Yes or no?
I know. Yeah, he's in the closet. I know.
He's chained
I
up
just
in
feel
a dungeon.
like somebody knows, and they're just not saying anything. Like everybody knows.
It's interesting. Your friend, what's her name? That's the psychic that was on your show with the Laura Powers.
Laura Powers.
She's actually going to come on the show, and she's psychic. I wanted to ask her, like, hey, is he
talk
alive?
to Tupac?
Well, that'd be a good one too.
The medium or the psychic?
Yeah.
She's psychic /
She'll say it's client psychic privilege. I don't know what she'll say. I don't know. She'll say I can't say anything. Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
She wouldn't be talking to.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I figured actually. See, I wanted to bring a psychic on specifically.
Yes.
To talk. Well, just it'd be good for all of us.
Yes,
in general,
I would
right?
love to get you. I would love to get a reading from a real psychic.
Yes.
I wonder if
But
any
I
of
wanna
his
ask-
friends or family.
I want to ask about Lake Mead, right, and the bodies, and see what they say. Are there more? Who's out there per se? Are there other bodies in barrels? And then I want to ask about Tupac. Like it'd be amazing if she brought Tupac on.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm Tupac. He's right here. Tupac's standing right here.
Yeah.
So I was trying to work it out, but it didn't work out in regards to the anniversary. But she'll come on. She'll talk about it. So I think that's one of our goals. Is this
Have him tell us in person where he's at.
like I am here. Tupac. I'm living on the Indian reservation. So, all right. So you alive or dead?
Dead.
Hiding? No, Indian reservation?
No. Crazy talk. No. Tupac's dead. Sorry.
Actually, do me a favor, Chase. As I talk and as we finish this up, just if you can Google The Great Escape and look for video, I think that we could play. It's kind of interesting trailer. If you could find it, we'll play that. Anyway, so here's the story. The goal is just like with the body in the barrel situation, we're doing crime prevention initiatives and strategies for the body in the barrel, second body that's located as a diver. Did you ever dive at all?
No.
Never. So
Smart man.
So people
Yes.
call all the time. One of our sponsors, Las Vegas Legal Network, basically gave a $500 reward to a family that actually found body 3, which you mentioned torso earlier, but they found the torso, and they gave a $500 donation because the 12-year-old that found the torso in Lake Mead, it was a way of basically just saying, hey, go to Disneyland, something like that, because they felt bad for the child that located this torso at Lake Mead while they
Right.
were swimming at the lake bed.
You're traumatized now. Go to, go ride it.
Hopefully Disneyland, the Mickey Mouse is going to make it better. And then we did this still out and about. There's a guy that's killing horses out of Red Rock. He's still outstanding.
I'm not laughing at killing the horses.
crazy,
It's
right?
just crazy that there's a guy that gets off on killing horses, like a serial
he
horse
kind of-
killer. This is the strangest.
It's weird because I don't think that guy watching TV, but it stopped. And right now the reward is basically $11,000 for the reward to identify that person. And then what we want to do right from the Problem Solver show is we want to do something really, really extreme. Now it's been 26 years as the anniversary. So what we want to do with the Problem Solver is take it to another level. Look, it's been 26 years. If there can be a conviction or arrest, for the person that killed Tupac, we want, as much as it sounds crazy,
Laughing, John.
You're gonna crack the case 26 years later.
26 years later, right? Now, it would be
Yeah.
the crazy thing about it is
Hey,
that-
I hope you're right. Because
First
just
of all-
you having to pay $50K excites me. Like I'm
Exactly.
ready for this.
So the question really comes down.
How can I help?
Paige is like, hey, I want to contribute $20.
I just think
We're gonna
it's
have to do a
hilarious.
Problem Solver
There's
telethon to raise the
TV
money for you.
shows out there, okay, and they're actually talking to people that knew Tupac, and you don't even know who this guy is, and you just,
Yeah.
Can you name one Tupac song?
yeah, name one.
I've listened. We
Tupac.
got to put some songs on. I'm actually horrible with name of songs
we
as well.
end-
Right.
I
couldn't
am
name.
too.
By the way,
Can we end the show
I can't
with
name
a
one
Tupac
Tupac
song?
song.
Come on.
I would know them if I heard them, but I can't name. I can't think of
okay.
a song by name.
How do you want it?
I've got the trailer here. What I suspect is the trailer
Okay,
here.
let's play the trailer with the
Let's
video.
see.
Let's play that. And
The
then
Great Escape. Huh?
Let me unmute this. Perfect.
My hair is sticking out. Can you see, honey? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Hey, Ben.
What's up?
How you doing?
I heard they're gonna try to put a hit out on me.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know they're gonna try to kill me.
Yeah, motherfuckers are gonna try.
So you gotta have Devin Clark sitting in Suge Knight's BMW, the front seat. I don't even want Suge to know that we did the switch.
That's the trailer.
That's
yeah, I
it?
guess that's the whole trailer. It was just a small trailer, but the whole point is that
Interesting.
they're saying it's staged because
Right.
basically to get him out because they knew that he was going to get killed and that they staged it. And he's the great escape out of UMC Hospital where he was at for 6 days, and people said that he passed, and supposedly he's alive. And actually, I met one of the guys that were in the actual trailer. So anyway, long story short, crime prevention initiative in regards to reward money from the Problem Solver Show, basically $50,000 reward money for the arrest and conviction of Tupac's killer. In regards to whether or not that person is still alive or dead, we don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy and controversy in regards to the topic, but it's something to show in regards that we have sponsors of the show that the Problem Solver Show would do a $50,000 reward for
Everything
the arrest and
remains
conviction.
anonymous.
Everything remains anonymous in regards to that. They can contact, regular Crime Stoppers of Nevada, if it's LA, Crime Stoppers of Los Angeles, and then we also have it's a toll-free number, which is 1-833-TIPS-CASH, and that basically number goes to the Problem Solver, and they can remain anonymous. They'll get a cash tips number, and from that, basically, if there's an arrest and conviction, there would be a $50,000 reward. John T is going to put up the $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'll match it while we're at it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, John.
Call it 250. Screw it.
So this is good. So maybe
worry,
the
no.
bear,
Going once, going
maybe
twice.
retired Bears guys want to put money to it.
Yeah,
Anybody got
Willie's not
300?
doing
So
it.
this is a good
Willie
question.
was number 83, by the way. Somebody, superfan Steve, just text me. Willie was number 83.
What do you think?
There you go.
So would the Action Junkies show
Yeah.
want to match it?
Sure, we'll match it.
I'm
We'll match it for
curious.
sure.
I'm
No
really
problem.
curious to see how many calls you actually get.
Yeah.
Right.
Has to lead to the conviction, though, right?
Yeah.
Arrest and
Yeah.
conviction.
No problem.
Okay.
We'll match it.
So
There you
exactly.
go.
So
You're up to 100.
So $50,000 from the Action Junkies podcast, John Orlando.
Shit. Someone's going to really come
The
out.
problem solver
You know
at
what?
$50,000.
I'll throw $1 million down on Hoffa, too. How's that?
That's gonna have to be another show.
We already know Hoffa.
All right.
I know where he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the location for that?
You going to tell us or no?
No.
Cliffhanger? All right, fine.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
different
Is it
show,
a
right?
different show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a different show. No, so we're dead serious. So
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll match it. Fine. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, so $100,000. John T, does
what?
your company any?
No, that's your company, baby. You're the one that's
You are my
offering
company.
it.
You're in my company.
And what?
All right, so you don't want to do that. We're gonna leave David out of this one.
Yeah.
David has
I
to.
got
He's,
bills to pay.
he's
Yeah.
he's like, I got bills to pay. I can't be paying
Yeah.
for reward money. And Beisha's gonna throw in $20 just for
Yeah.
good luck.
$100.
Is there a
Yeah.
lucky number? What's your lucky number?
100,020.
What's your lucky number?
2.
Two.
Anything with
There you go.
$100,002.
Yeah. There you go.
You really taking donation right now for this reward money? Are you serious?
You know, we actually did
Or
that with
collection?
Derek Parent, which was with Movement Mortgage when he was here. Actually, I didn't expect him to do that. The horse serial horse killer, as we call him.
Yeah.
It was at $5,000, and he actually matched it on the show. I actually was going to try to get some law firms and some doctors. So long story short, he did match it, and that's where we're at $11,000. That still does exist. I mean, the goal is this: by offering reward money, the goal is really to stop the person from doing the action, right?
yeah.
Like, we don't have to give the $11,000; just stop killing horses, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to find you; just stop your action. So
Sure.
it's supposed to actually scare someone away that I'm going to get caught because there's money involved in it. In regard to this one, we really want an arrest and conviction just to have justice. And the goal is, as a retired police officer, my goal is always to basically get justice for family members. And there's a lot of, how many fans does Tupac have? I mean, look, nobody deserves to get killed.
Yeah.
Right.
What were you going to add?
I was just going to say, Superfan Steve said, wrap this up because you're late for an event in Henderson. That's from 6 to 8. What are you doing here? Let's
that
go.
event?
We are
I
late.
got dinner to go to.
But
Okay.
but what about the other guy, Biggie Smalls, because he was killed right after Tupac, or what, a year after?
They're
And-
both in the Cayman Islands.
Right, and they
There's-
don't know who killed him
Elvis,
either.
everyone.
so-
They're all there.
So what about
that's
him?
But that's not in Vegas.
Oh, I see. Vegas.
Because of the Vegas
Oh,
we
situation.
only care about the dead people.
Oh.
here in
Which is
Vegas.
kind of interesting you
Okay?
saying about the memorial as well,
Yeah.
because he was not from Vegas.
Right,
he was
yeah.
just visiting.
Yeah.
So if the guy was from Vegas, like Maya Lansky or Bugsy Siegel, these guys were Vegas.
Right.
or
If it was
Vegas.
Carrot Top, yes, we'd have a memorial. Okay?
I like Carrot Top. He's
Along with
cool.
Carrot-
He knows
He's the
Carrot-
best.
he can
I
get
love
Carrot Top on it
he's
too.
great. Yeah.
You want Carrot Top to call in? I'll get him calling right now.
You think
Yeah.
Carrot Top would
Doing
donate
it.
money to the reward money?
No.
Okay, so bottom line is this: we have on a serious level, $100,000 reward money, arrest and conviction for Tupac Shakur. It's the 26th anniversary. It's a serious situation. We'd like to close out the case. Like any murder case, it always stays open,
Yeah.
and the only way to close it is basically if there's an arrest and conviction. Whether the person's out there or not, that's a whole different situation. But at least we're. I mean, here's a good question: do you prevent other shootings from happening when you do stuff like this in general? Just like this serial horse killer. I don't know. I mean, right now he stopped because the guy's out there. I mean,
Maybe he ran out of horses.
yeah.
I was thinking the
Sorry.
same thing.
Too soon?
There's
All right,
still
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we go now?
Yes. Anyway, so anything else? Anyone else have anything else?
No, we're done. We were done 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
It's
So
over.
the bottom line is, I'm Dave Colmeyer, the problem solver. I want to thank John Orlando, Beja Rivera, Janti
Hi.
Chun,
Yes.
and David Bliss for being an amazing
Yeah, thank you
hero
for
on our
everything,
show.
David Bliss.
Thank you for being here.
We're
Yeah.
sorry that you had to, withstand the Tupac stuff, but
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I like
they
it.
got 9/11 anniversary Tupac. I don't not much
Yeah.
going on this month besides these anniversaries, but I really appreciate you are here in our books. We do appreciate everything that you've done. We hope, and if you have anything whatsoever, John Orlando's going to make it happen as he normally texts us away and makes things happen. We're going to get you to a fight no matter what.
100% you're going to
as
fight.
well.
Yeah.
I'm going to come. Janti's going to come. Beja's
Yeah.
coming as well. We're all going.
None of you are going. Just, Dave
Dave.
and his wife.
Just
Yeah.
Dave.
We'll be there.
As usual, every
Sitting
single
right behind
week, Thursday at 4:30, we're live. Anyone that has specific problems, they can call the problem solver at 702-999-1111. Again, 702-999-1111, theproblemsolver.vegas. There's an app. You can go there. Any questions, problems, concerns, resources, please look us up. And then Tuesday, Channel 14, we're TV, 6 p.m., Channel 14, Cox Cable, Your View. And that's basically it. We'll see you next week. Be safe and be careful.